Hello, everybody. I am joined by the faces, the men behind Next Gen Poker. I am so excited, you guys. I have never felt like such an old loser. Like I'm watching your guys' stuff and it's just like so fresh and so fun. And I like Next Gen is the perfect name for you guys. And for those of us who are in the poker world, you know, who are getting old and dated, we have been waiting, I think, for the next gen to rise to the surface and show us what the hell is going on and what's going to be like the next cool stuff. And you guys are 1000% that. So I'm so glad to have you on the show. I'm going to start by introducing the audience who may or may not know who composes the Next Gen homies. I'm just going to start with the top of my screen. Jack, first of all, give them all of your AKAs and just like a little taste. Like I'm Jack, the like fun loving guy of the group, or like whatever you think your piece is.
Gambler.
All right, sounds good. Yeah.
Well, Frankie's answering for you already.
Yeah.
My name's Jack, aka Jello. As you can see by my name, no one really knows why I'm called that, but it's because Jack Iello kind of flows Jello. You know, that was my poker online name, aka Cash Money Jello. That's Rosie's nickname for me. I also go by Cash occasionally. Yeah, so I would say, one of the gamblers of the group. I like to play all the different type of card games. Like there's poker, there's Omaha. I like to play all of them. Rosie and Frankie kind of stay away from those games, but those are some of my favorite.
Dude, you've got to have like a hardcore degen in every group. If you don't have one, like, do you even gamble? Like, are you guys even on board? All right, Rosie, you're sort of like the anti-Chardonnay of the group, maybe. I'm not sure. It seems like you kind of keep everyone together, organize things.
What does anti-Chardonnay mean? Was that?
I
don't know, but it sounded good.
Yeah.
It sounded good.
I'll give you the story at some point. But okay, so Rosie, tell us about you, and also how did your name become Rosie?
Yes. Okay. So hello, I'm Rosie. My real name's actually Matthew. My name is Matthew Rosenfield, and Rosie became my nickname at 5 years old on the soccer field when they needed something to call me, because Matthew was too long, Rosenfield was too long. So Rosie just kind of became the nickname, and it like stuck harder than anything's ever stuck before. Like I'm now 21 and people still call me Rosie. I guess
there's
I'm
probably like 1,000 Matthews.
Yeah, there's a ton of Matthews too. So Rosie's kind of unique. Probably one of the only male people named Rosie, but you know, we'll go with it. I would say, I guess I am the anti-Chardonnay of the group. I would say I'm the nerd of the group. I like to go to school. I'm a math and finance double major. You'll see me miss some vlogs because I'm doing homework. But I also do like to party as well. I would say I've got the party itch of the group as well, but definitely like to keep us organized. I could be considered the mom of Next Gen Poker as well.
Rosie's a work hard, play hard type of guy.
Yeah. I get that vibe. I definitely got it. Okay. And Frank, actually, I'm just going to let you tell us, who are you, Frankie?
What's up, guys? My name is Frankie, aka Francesco, aka Wells Fargo. Thank you, Rosie, for that beautiful nickname.
Don't forget Frank the Bank. That's where Wells Fargo stems from.
Yep, Frank the Bank. Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Rosie. See, Rosie's my hype man too, so I appreciate that always. I would say I'm the wild card of the group. I mean, I can go both ways. I can go more on the smart, conservative. Let's play some nice tight poker, but then I have a little gamble in me as well. So I don't know. I feel like I kind of keep the boys, all three of us together, keep the train moving a lot, that kind of thing. I like math too, Rosie.
Oh yeah.
I definitely, it's like a theme throughout some of your guys' content that you are nerds, which I feel like, I actually feel like, and I might be wrong, but that with the, up and coming young kids, young folks, being nerds now is actually kind of cool. So like, I'm just going to think you guys are super cool. Plus all poker players can relate to being nerds because everyone also knows their math. But you guys I want to get more into poker, your guys' content, how you guys have just sort of like exploded on the scene. But I'm also kind of curious. I think it's interesting. You guys are all in college together. You're all in the same fraternity, correct? Okay. So also like, you can't really say it. How nerdy can you be if you're like a frat boy? I'm just throwing it out there, but I want to know first about what you guys are like, what your ambitions are post college. And this time I'm going to go backwards. So Frankie, you said you're also into math, etc. What what is your ambition after college?
That is just an amazing question. And, we get that a lot, and it's very important too, because we have all of our amazing parents wondering the same exact thing. So like I tell them, and like what I've been telling everyone, like kind of fans asking is, we are going to keep this going, and we're going to keep going this full force. Next Gen is only getting better. 2022 is our year. I am telling you that. We got a lot of big goals. So you know what? I'm excited to see, every step forward has been really humbling and really exciting. So, Next Gen's going to keep progressing. As far as off the felt, we all are looking for jobs. I'm an industrial engineering major, Jack civil, Rosey finance. So they got 2 jobs already lined up for this summer. I'm trying to find one myself, but we're going to keep the balance between work and play. So we're going to keep Next Gen rolling.
Okay. All right, Rosey, let me hear it.
Yeah, no, Frankie hit the nail on the head. I'm a math and finance double major, so I do have an official job. Hi, mom and dad, lined up at an investment bank here in Dallas. But like Frankie said, I'm going to be doing that. But anytime I'm free, Next Gen Poker to the moon, going to hammer that as well. Try to keep that work and life balance going. And I think we're going to do very well.
I already tried to get Jack to work for me. Okay, Jack, let's hear it.
Yeah, they both covered it exactly. I've got a job actually right by where I live right now. It's walking distance, which is super convenient. I'm a design engineer for a land development firm. So that's going well. And of course, we want to continue doing Next Gen. We're never stopping doing this. It's too fun. It's
To the
too
moon.
Yeah, to the moon.
To the moon. Like, that's what I'm hoping for. And I just want you guys to all work for me. So if anything doesn't work out, if all of your fancy engineering jobs or any of your finance, investment finances just really crumble, if something falls apart, give me a shout anytime, and you can be a content creator for me to supplement your other things. You could
Sarah,
be a writer, a journalist, I don't care. Dude,
let's talk.
Let's get it. You want to work for us this summer? I will hire you
talk.
Tomorrow.
Oh my God, look at this.
Let's
Things are happening here.
Let's talk, please.
Dude, I'm so on board. I'm so on board with you guys. So for the audience now, you have a little taste of who these guys are personally. And if you haven't checked out, be sure to check out their TikTok, their YouTube. You guys have been making vlogs for maybe a year-ish now. And I think a lot of people can just connect with your vibe, but you also recently, like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, it seems like launched a podcast, which is what I have been super into and the most excited about, because I feel like that's where you get a little more taste of your guys' personalities and a little bit more of the like behind the scenes stories, the stuff maybe that doesn't completely make it into the vlogs. And the first episode was like so fresh, so fun, so amazing. You guys talked about a little trip to the city of sin, which I think is always a good experience for everyone, and especially these young kids. And I'm trying to decide, like, I feel like I would be remiss if we didn't like bring our PokerNews podcast audience in with just like a little taste of some of your guys' Vegas trip. So first, Rosey, I want you to explain how you went about planning your guys' club beach life, pool party / club party, like how the DGen sesh was also maxed out plus EV. Maybe
Yes,
plus EV.
okay.
That's debatable.
Yes. So first, let me get on the same page. Our first podcast, guys, was the 21st birthday Vegas trip, right? That's what we talked about. There's been 2 Vegas trips, Sarah. So
Okay.
The first one was my 21st birthday, and the planning was trying to fit that work hard, play hard mentality in there, where we wanted enough poker hours, but we also wanted to party. So I was Googling, I made spreadsheets. I could probably pull up some spreadsheets now, just finding all the possible club options, what DJs were performing, what discounts could we get. And we actually, I would send out emails to these clubs, and I just threw in there that we were Next Gen Poker and we were content creators. And surprisingly, we actually got discounts on the tables, which was kind of our first like cool eureka celebrity moment, like that they were going to let us party for cheaper than the normal person. So we booked a couple spots. We booked at the Marquis nightclub, then we went to the Marquis day club for a pool party. And
I think that first podcast, Rosey, was the fall break.
it was fall break?
Yeah,
I was going to say, because there was a bunch of other kids there. Like you did mention, It was like break for other people also.
Well,
but regardless, it seems like you approached both trips.
Regardless, I did the same strategy for the second Vegas trip. All the spreadsheets.
Mom of the group. That was perfect.
Mom of the group, I guess. And just making sure that, it was just with more people this time because we had our whole fraternity there, but it ended up working out great. We went to the Encore Beach Club that trip. And we went to Omnia, just all the spots, and it was insane.
They hit it pretty hard, and I love to see that. I love to see people like planning it with, honestly, if you don't like come at it with a plan, Vegas can just do to you whatever it wants sometimes. Like you really got to go in there with goals, or else sometimes you're just going to be like, you're going to find yourself like on the floor of the Sahara just taking a nap or something like that. I think you guys did the right thing, but this was also an interesting experience in what I like to call poker famous, which sometimes crosses over into actual famous, but I would say very infrequently. That being said, you guys were basically like outshining Diplo in his stage, in his performance, which is amazing. Jack, why don't you like give us a little taste of how the entire like Encore Beach Club got to find out that Next Gen was in the house?
Oh, this was a great story. So all of us pull up to the beach club. There's probably like 15 of us. And we get up there, and Rosey, being the mom of the group, he had scheduled the whole thing. He goes up, talks to one of the guys that sets us up with our table, and he's like, "Where's your guys' reservation code? You needed to confirm something with me last night. I sent you an email." And Rosie's like, "No, you didn't." We're all standing around there worried. He's like, "Yeah, I don't have a place for you guys. I'm sorry." And Rosie's like, "Listen, dude, you didn't send us the email." And the dude goes back, checks, sees he messed up, and came back feeling horribly. And Frankie's in the background like, "Do you know who we are? We're Next Gen Poker." Like, no, I'm just I'm just kidding. But he did end up hooking us up. He moved us to a table right in front of Diplo, right where he could see us party and have a good time. And then even better, they put our name up on this giant screen right above where Diplo was performing, and we were the only thing that was up there the entire day. Like, it was pretty much just Next Gen Poker and then like Encore Beach Club. They weren't sponsoring anything else up there. It was really, really cool. We were up there for probably 30 minutes taking pictures in front of it. People were sending us pictures from all over the club. Like,
you
how
guys
cool
were
it
like,
was.
"We're gonna get so much tail. We are Next Gen Poker."
Exactly.
And like Diplo is so last like yesterday. Get out of here with that. Oh my gosh, I love it. And then while you guys were at the club later, another fan came up, pulls his shirt up. He's got the Next Gen sweatshirt on, like ready to show you guys, which again, like, you know, you're going home with all the girls from the club. Then at that point, your guys' hype is like so humongous. I just love to hear that. I love to hear that you guys are using poker fame the way that it should be used. Now, Frank, I want to talk a little bit, AKA Wells Fargo. I think this is obviously something which I know more than anyone, like content creation is a lot of work. Getting good at poker, or I guess we can say like, whether or not you guys want to reveal whether you think you're good or not, that's fine. But like, you know, poker also takes time and energy. Going to college, obviously you guys have plenty of stuff on your plate. So talk to me a little bit about how this thing sort of came together, like the initial sort of vision and ideas, and what you were kind of hoping to get out of it, because it's somebody who doesn't have a lot of extra time.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite story. So I got into poker playing on the pool table with Jack, Rosey, and a couple of fraternity guys. We didn't have a poker table. We just had a pool table and $10 in our bank account. So we put $10 on the line, and we played a little poker game. And then right when we started playing, COVID came and we had to go home. So sophomore year of college, they sent us home, and we were all just kind of looking for places to play online. And you know how the online world is for us. It's not very easy to play with your friends. It's kind of confusing and not many great platforms. So eventually, 3 months later, we come back to school, and COVID's still full force. All the casinos are closed around the world. We can't watch any of our favorite poker vloggers like Brad Owen, Andrew Nemi. And we're like, wait, if we can't watch them, no one can watch them. Okay. And then there's also a casino. We're in Dallas, Texas. An hour and 20 minutes north is a casino called Choctaw, the only one allowing poker right now. Like, let's just do it. And this is the first time this is ever coming out, so you get exclusive news right here. I had a little Minecraft YouTube channel back in 8th grade.
Yes.
So I can't believe I just told everyone that.
Dude, everyone's digging now. We're like in the archives.
So I was a little familiar with YouTube, a little familiar with content creation. I remember getting Elgato, if people know what that is, trying to record my Xbox games. So I always loved YouTube, and being a YouTuber always seemed like a really cool job. I mean, it's a really cool job. So I was like, okay, Rosey, Jello, let's go. We don't really know how to play poker. Like I said, we'd play $10, $20 games at our poker house, like a little pool table. And we just went up to Choctaw and we filmed it. And we were not good at poker, but we posted the video. And thankfully, Rosey had a little bit editing experience. I had some iMovie experience. Like the combination of those two kind of allowed for a really good video. And immediately we got thousands of views, like with 0 subscribers, thousands of views. And
you saw a need because you had the need, and then you were like, we'll fill it. Like, let the people have what they want, dude. They want a vlog.
Exactly. And the thing about poker fans is they need their content. They need their hands. They love seeing hands. We posted videos twice a week, and I was getting comments like, can you guys post more? Like, I need more. Like, we go to host these meetup games. Like, the one thing I don't like about you guys, you don't post enough. I was like, oh my gosh. So I realized that people love what we're doing, and I love giving it to them. So the subscribers just recently has really blown up, but we were posting videos with 1,000 subscribers and getting 5,000-10,000 views, and that's pretty cool.
That's so sick. And I was going to ask Rosey, actually, because it's mentioned in a few pieces of your guys' content that you're splicing together some sick little intros that you guys are all like waiting to hype the intro, get yourself out of bed in the morning. So I was going to ask, like, is that it's not something that you're pursuing, or like editing, shooting isn't really something that you're interested in? It's like a side hustle?
It's always been a side hustle. Similar to Frankie, I didn't have a Minecraft YouTube channel, but I did have a YouTube channel where we could find it. We should find Frankie's Minecraft stuff too.
We are going to, believe me.
Just old bits I would make with friends in middle school, elementary school, of just editing, whether it be highlights of our flag football game or us doing a skit or something. It's always been a big hobby of mine. I was in my high school's film program. I was like one of the executive producers of the TV news program. Never really something that I thought would turn into a job, nor did I want to, because it's really hard to get into like the film industry, like the original way, like to go be an editor for the big time movies. So I just kept it on the side, and amazingly, it has now become something that I can use to make money, which is helping us edit the videos. We actually have an editor now, but for the first bunch, I was kind of the head editor, taught Frankie and Jack, and they're amazing now as well. And the intros are my favorite part, which I still do sometimes when we have a special video. And it's just so much fun.
It's the key, dude. It's like the first 15 seconds or whatever, right? That's the whole thing. And I love how you guys integrate like really actually good fun music. I'm sure that's a whole other thing you have to, get paid for. There's a whole production that goes into content creation. And that's also a big reason why you can't put out like 8 zillion videos a week, especially with these other jobs. So Again, I'm just going to reiterate for the fans in the audience out there, if the other jobs don't work out, we just want you guys to put out like 20 videos a week, or however, 5, 4, let's be realistic. So it's terrible. I just want you guys to like keep doing this. I'm so into it. And I know that you guys have some lofty goals for the coming year. And it's interesting, actually, I hadn't really considered how different it must be to be college kids who have gone through this particular last couple of years. It's like a whole different world that we're in. So Jack, talk to me a little bit. I get like, as I make my way again around the table.
I like it.
So as you guys like started working on, okay, this is like the project, this is the idea. How do you sort of flush out like who's going to do exactly what? How do you guys flush out, like what next gen really looks like? Okay, next project, we got the podcast, like it's 3 people is like a harder thing to manage than 1 person, right? Like the solo vlogger.
It's definitely a lot harder to manage, but I know for a fact I could not have done this on my own. It's a lot to do a channel all by yourself too, all the editing and everything. I mean, we all complement each other really well, which I think works out. Like we all have really different personalities. Rosey keeps us on track, Frankie keeps us going. I'm bringing the fun aspect to the table. We all bring a bunch of different things that really work out well together. And I definitely would not have had as much of a good time doing this all on my own. And everything that's came to us is kind of just fallen in our lap, and we've just kind of seized every opportunity we've had. Like we've just been in kind of the mentality, like we say yes to all of these different opportunities. Like we would never turn down an opportunity to be on a podcast with PokerNews. Like this is freaking awesome. Like the chance to start our own podcast, we didn't have the necessary resources to necessarily do that on our own, but through Texas Card House, they were able to help power it, and that was just super cool. They gave us that opportunity, and now we've just got like unlimited resources to continue to use, and we've just had a bunch of opportunities, and we've been really blessed with them. So it's been cool.
I used to live, by the way, just last year, like around the corner from the Texas Card House. I remember driving and being like, this is sketchy. Like, is this legit? It's like in this, like there's like a Mijuanakera or something, like some crazy grocery store across the street. Like I was like, this is, but then people that I like, vloggers that I know were coming there, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, this is legit. Like I live by an actual card house. And we also, I want to talk a little bit about Texas and just where we're at right now. Like it's a really interesting time, I think, to be here and to be in poker. But Rosey, tell me about this, because this is something, as a content creator myself, you know, I run into a lot of red tape in terms of like, if you go into a casino and you're going to shoot something, it's like, you have to have the marketing department approve it, or you need to have like $17 million in insurance or whatever. And I think this is something, you know, I just had Mimi on the podcast 2 weeks ago, and he was explaining that one of the great things about now being partial owner in a card house is he can just do whatever he wants, basically. Like if he wants to shoot video content, he can. And I love that. But somehow you guys are managing to do this, and you kind of like spilled a little tip, like you kind of circumvent some of the like can't have your phone on the table rules with a certain type of gear. But talk to us a little bit about how you guys are doing this and how you're like piecing this all together.
Yeah. And I'm going to give a big shout out to Texas Poker, because they're a lot of the reason that we're able to do it is Texas Poker really understands poker vloggers. You know, our early days in Choctaw, we were not allowed to film. We're still not really allowed to film. And there are some ways we've circumvented that. Sorry, Choctaw. But Texas Card House has been like the Texas poker rooms, like the Lodge, Texas Card House, they understand the value that we bring to the table.
Yeah.
So it's always been encouraged. You know, they just tell us there's some certain things we have to do, like not getting people's faces in the shot, which is very easy to do. There's a couple rules, but it's free reign. Like we can record all our hands, we can make great content, and we haven't really run into trouble in Texas at all. Like in Vegas, it can be tough as well, but luckily this is our home base. So it's really just been awesome.
It's so important that we like try to grow this game, right? And we always are coming back to, how do we grow this game? And being young people who are making interesting content is the best way to grow this game. These people who are finding these vloggers, you know, I think this is the future. And so for people who own card rooms and for people who own casinos, and like you can put up as many billboards as you want, or like bring as many like ambassadors as you want, but if you don't reach a lot of people and show them how to play the game, you're going to totally, I think, miss the mark. So I think you're definitely on it there. And Frank, you guys were talking a little bit about your experience at the Nugget. So I used to live in downtown Las Vegas. I am a big Nugget fan. For those who don't know, it's a 1-3 game, right? But it's uncapped. It's 1-2
uncapped.
Okay. So it's uncapped. So for those who know, like you can buy in for as much money as you want. And I was going to ask you guys, because you, Frank, kind of broke down a hand that you played with a gentleman who bought in for 10K. And this guy is like, I want to say, was he wearing a suit? Like a ridiculous suit?
He wasn't wearing a suit, but he definitely had a, like, you know how the poker players have like their little fanny packs of cash,
Yes.
you know?
He had a
Like
violin.
He had one of those. And
Okay.
I love that you know this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he's the Duke. We call him the Duke in
Duke.
downtown Las Vegas. And he literally goes to the Nugget like every night, opens his violin case, buys in for like $10,000, is like actually, I don't know, not probably a particularly great poker player, but he's just like notorious for buying in for 10. I think he's actually kind of nitty, but he put you in a crazy spot.
I know exactly who you're talking about. This isn't the same guy, but at my table when we were there last time, people were telling me about the Duke. They kept on telling me about this guy with a violin case who goes in. That sounds insane. And they also said that he's not that good, and he like gives
he's
away.
like nitty and terrible. So like the guy who you were talking about, though, you said like he was putting people in kind of tough spots, and he more or less put you in a tough spot, which you were just like, whatever.
Well,
Let's go.
Sarah, so to tell the story, so I was just sitting down there with my nice, beautiful, bright next gen sweatshirt, and I think that obviously gets some eyes. And some people look at me some way where I think they might know the channel, but they don't feel comfortable approaching, which totally fine. If you guys see me, come say hey. Obviously, we're very friendly, very nice, and we love to play with you. But this guy, he saw the next gen sweatshirt, asked a question like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, we're poker vlog." And he was a big high stakes player, so he wasn't there to play 1-2. But when he saw me, he decided that he was going to come sit down at the 1-2 table, scare some of the players with a $10,000 stack on the table, which, by the way, we're playing like $500 effective. It's still worth $500.
Yeah.
It's $10,000 stack, right?
If you only have 500 behind, it doesn't matter how much
It's
you
only
have
worth
behind, buddy.
500.
Thanks.
So he really was only putting me in spots, quite honestly. I mean, he did use his like stacks of black, like the 2K stack, just to like go push people all in. And that is kind of like a mental thing. And we like to talk about like kind of how like what you put out as your all in bet, like kind of what it means, whether it's the one chip all in or it's
The flex, the one chip flex.
the one chip flex, or the meticulous, like he's got 350, I'm just going to put 350 out there, or this guy, putting the 2K rack stack out there. So yeah, he did put me in a very interesting spot. The hand, I remember I had 2 pair and the river got the flush came in and the pot was $200 and I had $500 left. He's put the 10K stack in. And I was like, see, no, like what the pot is right now. Like, are you sure you want to double count that before you can take your bet back? Like, I'm fine. You could take it back. But no, he was trying to do that. And he tried to put me all in. And with his broken straight draw, I think that's what he had. I did find the right call. So he did come in, try to put me in a spot, and he did, and he made the vlog. So good for him. I like it.
So I did want to ask you guys, and I know, Jack, you have to leave, so I will ask you first. So, as content creators, like one thing, Rosey mentioned a hand where he, got dealt aces first thing. And in his mind, he's already like building the thumbnail, right? And it's like aces first hand. So of course we want to be like our, plus EV best players and make the right decisions and be all GTO. But also like when you're a content creator, there's a lot of value in also just like having, cool, fun, crazy stories. How much do you think like playing correct poker versus making good content is what's driving your decision making?
Okay, first of all, this was a fantastic question, Sarah. I love this question. And what I want to talk about specifically in this is playing like GTO versus like exploitative poker. We at NextGen can easily play a lot of different like exploitative games with the other players because we know that we're running a YouTube channel. People will see me sitting at a table and immediately go, "Oh, Jello from NextGen," and they'll go immediately up to the table and request to move to my table, and will purposely try to like get in big pots against me.
Yeah, and then so they can tell everyone, "I crushed
Yeah,
Jello."
Exactly. So like I can play in different ways where like I'll bet, and let's say I have like a really strong hand. If they raise me even small, I can just like put my whole stack in there and force them to a decision because they just want to get in a pot with me and make the vlog. They're more likely to put chips in bad. And so it's a lot of fun, like finding these creative spots that you wouldn't necessarily play. If you're playing a really good player, you would never make these plays, but there's a lot of plays that you can make knowing that we're next gen, knowing that people are like desperate to get on the vlog, desperate to like get in a pot or like stack us, say that they stacked a next gen poker player. And so it's super fun to like try and find these creative spots that you wouldn't normally have if you didn't run a YouTube channel.
Dude, the meta is so interesting because it's not just that that you're making the content. It's also like they know that they want to be on the content and that they know. So now you've got like, I mean, it just like could go forever. Yeah. That's really so interesting. And actually it's really affirming to me because it means there's a lot, hopefully, of young people who are consuming content and out there playing poker. And okay, so actually I'm going to go to Frank really quick on this one because I think you're the one who maybe mentioned this or discovered it. It might be one of the two of you, but you guys ended up going early on in, I think it was your first vlog, actually, you go to Choctaw because they pay you to play from like 5 to 10. So like, tell me a little bit about this kind of like story or this backstory. And then yeah, like how profitable or how much does it make sense for you guys to go to Choctaw to make these, big long trips? Because everyone, I mean, it's, if you get a hotel and stuff, you're adding on a whole different cost, right, to everything.
Totally. So I want to give, the one quick positive shout out for COVID for putting my classes online and allowing me to do this. Choctaw had a promotion from Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. or something like that.
5
Rosie.
to 10.
5 to 10. Okay. So 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Very early, where most poker players are probably playing from the night before, not waking up at 8 a.m. to play poker. They had a promotion where they'd pay you $25 in chips per hour to sit there and play poker. So it was just trying to get the room more busy, more crowded. And funnily enough, if you were on the wait list at 5 a.m., you were still getting paid. So that's a no risk situation. Obviously, you have to take your seat if it's called, but we would go and it would be an opportunity because we'd have online classes at like 11 or noon or somewhere around there where it'd be okay to do this. We'd go sit down, play from 5 to 10 a.m., make $125. So as long as you're playing a good game, and even if you just go break even, you just made $125 there every day. And I can't remember exactly, but I know we were getting some good discounts for also playing for more than 4 hours. So we were paying like $60 for the hotel room, and we were each making 125, so 250 profit from the promotion. So it was a win-win. And if you win in poker, then that's just a win-win-win.
Dude, you guys are total nerds. I loved that Jack, you were actually down still playing, which made more sense to me. But like Rosey and Frank were set the alarm to wake up to go down. I was like, this is not what they are expecting with this promotion, and way to go, guys. But this is something I did want to ask, because there's a lot of hype right now about, and Jack, if you have to go, just let us know. I know you do.
All
have
right,
to
I'm
go,
going to take off. Thank
Enjoy
you,
your
sir.
life. It was a pleasure.
Fun in class.
Yeah. Woo. Boo. Come work on your content. That's what we care about here. But okay, so now I got like lost in what I'm thinking about. Okay, we're talking about you guys are going down from 5 to 10. Oh, I know. Okay, Rosey. So Texas poker, there's like a lot of stuff going on right now in Texas poker. We're in fact looking at PokerNews at having like a whole week where we just talk about like all the best card rooms there, what the kind of rules are, what the legislation looks like. But one of the things, like my husband and I went to play in the card rooms close by us, and it's expensive for the most part. And so, for a lot of people maybe who are like trying to make a living doing this or something like that, like the rake, you're never going to beat the rake. That being said, clearly you must be able to beat the rake, or it wouldn't be like as hyped right now as it is. So talk to me a little bit just about like what the Texas poker scene has been like for you guys.
Yeah, totally. And I will say it's definitely possible to make a living here. And I'd go out on a limb and say Texas is probably one of the best places to play poker, to make a living in the country, maybe even the world or whatever. The way the rake structure works based on the legislation is this hourly fee charge. You pay an hourly rate to play. There's no money coming off the table. And people like we are fortunate to have a lot of connections who are professional poker players who know a lot about the industry. And they say it's very similar. It works out to be very similar, the money you're losing to rake versus the money you're paying an hourly. It obviously just psychologically feels worse to have to pay the hourly, because the rake, it kind of just sneaks out of the pot. You don't feel like you lost anything. But I promise you, and people wondering about Texas poker, the hourly, basically the same thing, very similar. And the upside about Texas poker is how deep the games are. So if you go buy in for a typical 1-2, like in my hometown of San Diego, and you buy in for $200 and they're raking you a ton, you can't really make a lot of money. You come to Texas, you can buy into 1-2 games, like if it's match the stack, up to thousands of dollars on the table. None of that money's coming off the table at all because it's all hourly, and you can make a lot of money. So I understand why people have that concern, but I would say Texas poker is supreme.
Totally true. And actually, I've talked to some guys who have moved from Vegas to here, and tournament directors and stuff, who are like, you can't believe the games just play so good and so deep because it's like easy to make a living in some ways. And also they really take care of poker players here because it's about poker players, right? So frequently when you go to a casino, it's like poker is like the redheaded stepchild or whatever. Like nobody cares about poker players. They're not giving you like food discounts or whatever, like for the most part, right? But when you go to these Texas card rooms, they're giving you food for free a lot of the time. They're giving you drinks for free or at like a super discounted rate. You can park for free. They are trying to, you are their customer and they are catering to you, which I also just really enjoy. As someone who's not planning on making a lot of money playing poker, I also enjoy just like having a nice experience in the card room. And I know you guys both have class, so I'm just going to do a couple more, but Frankie, I want to talk a little bit to you about, so you mentioned, like, I hear you when you're talking about hands, you very clearly have a grasp and understanding of what you're doing. That being said, you said, you know, you started this to make content, not maybe necessarily to be like educating the universe on like all the GTO strategies. So talk to me, I guess, when you jumped into this project and as it sort of played out, how much did you expect for it and want it to be about people seeing you as a poker player and judging you as like a professional poker player?
Well, first
versus
off,
like a content creator. You know
thank you for saying that. I kind of know what I'm doing, because I appreciate that. Some people won't even give me that credit. However, I do think that it's important to have a balance, and especially with next gen, I always try to balance, like, okay, like I know a lot about poker. I like to be very articulate. We have very good conversations about poker studying and poker theory, but I'm also making a YouTube video, and that's an entertainment video. And I want to entertain. I want to make people have fun. I want them to click our videos because they want a little story, you know? Like every video is its own story. And like over the past year, we've really like made each video more of a story. And that's why we started recording the intros after we did our sessions. So we at least know them, like what story are they going to be able to watch in this video. So that's one thing that I have recently been thinking a lot about, because when I talk about poker, like off camera, like I like to get very
Nerdy.
very like funny with it too. So like I always say, like, my chips are my soldiers. So like if I'm in a pot with pocket nines, I'm like, I don't want to risk 80 of my soldiers to put out on the middle with versus a 3-bet, you know, like. So I think it's very important that we do have videos that, you know, show that people can learn from it, because I want to make sure people watch it for the aspect of learning, but primarily for entertainment. And if you go talk to the players that play all day, like the regs, I would say, like, they're not watching next gen videos to get better. They're watching next gen videos because it's entertaining. And then we also have the other side of the young college players, and we brought a lot of college players and a lot of, you know, young people into the game. They're watching to actually learn. Like, what do I do with pocket aces here? Do I raise here? Do I play it slow here? And so I really want to have that perfect balance. And, you know, perfect balance is a very tough line to try to tiptoe over, but I think we do a good job of that.
I agree. And that's something I wanted to ask, especially, so, you know, Rosey, you mentioned that you've been thinking about editing and these kind of things for a long time. You clearly have a sense of storytelling, and like piecing together highlights, I think, is really even its own art form. But for you guys, in terms of your poker story and in terms of your poker lives, you mentioned like Mimi and Owen. Were other content creators a big part of what inspired you in this space? Is this part of what made you love poker so much?
Yeah, I mean, Frankie and I didn't like, I don't have cable in my house. So like, I'm not watching the reruns of like old World Series of Pokers, like WPT. Like all the poker content we consumed was on YouTube when we were really learning this game. And so, yeah, Brad and Andrew, obviously you Google poker vlogger and those are the top two to come up, and they're absolutely amazing. But yeah, some of the other guys, like I got into Rampage, who also is really fun to watch. Mariano, our buddy Wolfgang Poker, like the list goes on and on. Poker Beast as well. There's just so many different stories being told from so many different personalities. And that really, we've pulled from people in different ways and borrowed ideas and just to make our content unique and good as well. And it's just the poker vlogging community universe, whatever, is amazing.
Okay,
and
so
I want to interject something.
You guys
right here.
need to be in the awards too, but yeah, go ahead.
I like think that the best part of next gen is the energy and personalities that we bring to the table. It's not going to be like the poker theory, like, because there's going to be people smarter than us and we accept that. But I think the best part of us is us. And
Yeah.
I want to show more of us on our videos. So this 2022, 2023, I'm always looking for more ways that we could show our personalities. And we figured out that the YouTube formula, they do like to see get right into the hands, do the hands, and then quick outro, which in that type of formula, you don't get to really meet me. You don't get to meet Frankie. You don't get to meet Rosey. So we are looking for ways to incorporate more of us and our personality, because I just think that that's very entertaining as well. So we live kind of a crazy life. So the more we can document that, I think it's going to make even better videos.
we're in an
And-
interesting spot. Sorry to interject,
No,
but
no, go.
like we're in an interesting spot because a lot of the poker community is a little bit older. Like when you watch a guy like a Brad Owen or an Andrew Neby, they've been playing poker for so many years. They know how to play. The thing that's unique about us is kind of you're watching us learn. You're watching us figure this game out as we go, kind of seeing our journey.
Yeah.
And so, Frankie, like Frankie
You're
said,
going to Vegas for your second time. You're not living in Vegas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like, that's what we're trying to incorporate, and being able to show that journey, like Frankie said, is really important to us.
And really, that's what all the vlogging is, though. In fact, like I paid some people to try to make some vlogs on our channel. And what I kept trying to impart on them, and it's very hard, obviously, I'm not doing it, but was that people tune in for you. Like they want to see your like ups, they want to see your downs, they want to see your joys. But you are right. And this is something I've actually talked to Andrew about just 2 weeks ago. He was talking about, people click away if they're not getting the poker hands. And that's so interesting to me, because to me, it's like, then you could why don't you click onto the high roller streams? There's 10 zillion of them on the internet already, or there's some like disconnect there. They're tuning in to see you and hear you. And maybe that's part of it too, is like, they want to hear how you think about hands, and that's easier for them to like jump on board with. But for me personally, I think that's why I enjoyed your guys' podcast so much. Like I'm much more interested also in seeing you and your lives and what's going on behind the scenes sort of too. And I feel like there's space for both things. And that's also part of what I love about the podcast. And I know you guys also have guests on the podcast, which obviously I love that too. It's fun to like get to know people, but I from a fan perspective would like to see more of you guys exploring that. And I do think that even with a lot of the Twitch guys, right? Like the in real life stuff, at least like 2 years ago was really starting to take off. Maybe like COVID, just like people just turned into like snooze fests or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know what happened to people. But that is interesting. So Frank, we sort of started the podcast talking about, we started this interview talking about, what are you doing, after college? This is like what everybody wants to know from kids your age, I guess. And you guys are definitely keeping this content going. Is everybody going to try to stay sort of close together? Hopefully, are you all going to stay sort of in Texas?
Yeah, so thankfully 2 of the 3 boys have already secured the Dallas jobs. Rosey and Jack have already got those Dallas jobs locked up, so they are guaranteed here. And I have just been spamming the applications in Dallas, trying to stay local. I have a couple Austin jobs that I had interviews with, but yeah, we're really trying to stay local because Next Gen thrives when we're all together, arms around each other, and we get to tell our story. And I've heard at the tables before, just from someone actually last week who said, my favorite part of your videos, and I love when people tell me that, when they open with that, I get I get some authentic raw feedback. I get so excited. Like I wish everyone would fill out a survey after our videos, but nonetheless. So he goes, my favorite part about your videos is I get to see your emotions when one person loses and 2 people win. Like he just likes seeing that little combination of the 3. And I was like, yeah, that's badass. I think so too. I love doing that too. And like, so if we can keep like with that, like as much of us as possible, I just think it makes the video even better. And sometimes we do get a little upset in the videos. Like if you go back and it was our first time ever losing $1,000 in a video, you'll see me, a little bit pouty Frankie, and that's, that mental game is so important. I feel like we've all gotten better at it, but the emotion right after the session is a pretty cool aspect of our videos.
And I think the community aspect is really cool because it's something I hear from a lot of poker players is that they don't know how to get more friends, or they don't have a lot of friends in the space already. And from me, from the outside now, having seen the players who sort of rise to the top over the last decade, it's been people who have a community of guys that every break they go together, they talk their hands together, you can hear them doing it, they talk each other up, they split the costs for traveling. Like for what seems like kind of a solo game, I think for a lot of people is actually a game that's 100% about your friends and how you build that community around you. And I know I have to let you guys go. Like, really, I know you have things to do. And don't worry, Frank, we'll keep you in Dallas when you come work for me. You just have to come for the World Series. You have to go to Vegas for the World Series. That's kind of like the rule if you work at PokerNews. But
I think Frankie will be able to follow that rule.
I was about to say, have to, and yeah, that's totally
I like that rule. That's a good rule.
The rest of the time, you guys can stay together. And Rosey, since you are the type A, since you are the Papa Bear, / Mama Bear, whatever. Let the fans know, where can they find you guys? Where can they follow you? What's your TikTok? What's your Twitter? What's your YouTube? All the things.
I love it. And it's easy. It's Next Gen Poker on all the things. It's the Next Gen Poker on Instagram, potentially Twitter as well, right, Frankie? But
Yeah, on Twitter.
TikTok, Next Gen Poker, YouTube, Next Gen Poker. The Next Gen Show is our podcast. But yeah, we make it easy. Merch at nextgenpokershop.com as well if you want a cool hoodie.
I will put a link too. Next Gen Poker. And we need to talk to Instagram and Twitter if it's the Next Gen Poker. We can definitely get that changed.
I know, right? I want to get verified too. I want to figure out how to get the blue check mark.
I'm pretty sure we can do that.
We've had a lot of copycats recently, so we are trying to get verified.
Yeah, I think you should. And I think like your guys's like subs and stuff should warrant like someone being available to talk to you about these things. If not, let me know. I do know a couple people in some platforms. I think actually only on Instagram do I know anyone that can ever do anything, but like, and I still got my account hacked and stuff. Like, I don't like, can anyone ever help you in these social platforms? I don't think
hard.
So.
It's
TikTok is not a good customer support system. I'll tell you that.
I've emailed like 50 different people on TikTok and like no one's responded. TikTok.
No one works there. Literally no one works there. They're just like machines somewhere. All right. Well, I am so grateful to have you guys on. This was really, truly a pleasure. And I was so happy. And shout out to the former Haslett House for connecting us. I love those guys too. Just like a bunch of other young, positive poker loving homies. So shout out to those guys. And yeah, I hope to see like a lot more of you guys. And Frankie, my email is sarah@pokernews.com. So like, just let me know when you need a job and I'm here, all of you.
Hashtag hire Frankie. Let's get it trending.
Dude, I'm so ready. Like, I will try to find a spot for you immediately. All right. Enjoy.
Well, we had a blast. Thank you so much for the invite.
Absolutely.
Best podcast ever. Thank you, Sarah.
Enjoy your lives. Bye, guys.